I never imagined that the worst day of my life would lead to something so unexpected. It all started on a cold November evening. I was 16 years old and sitting at home waiting for my mom to get off work. We weren't really poor, but with her being in and out of jail for small stuff, we didn't have a lot of money. The house was always cold and we didn't have much food. Most nights I would go to bed hungry. I remember sitting by the window watching the cars pass by, hoping that my mom would be home soon. I knew she'd bring some snacks from the gas station. Suddenly, I heard the sound of sirens outside. I rushed to the window and saw flashing red and blue lights. I looked back at the clock. It was around 4 p.m. That was about the time my mom left work. Could she have been in an accident? Before I could think further, the lights were gone. I tried to calm myself down. Maybe I just imagined it. Just then, I saw my mom's car parked in front of our house. I flew to the door and opened it, but when I stepped out, I saw something that made my blood run cold. There were police cars surrounding our house, and there she was, my mom, standing on the front lawn in handcuffs next to a tall, serious-looking officer. I didn't know his name at the time. I only knew he was the man taking my mom away. I watched helplessly as they put her in the squad car and drove her away. I don't remember what happened next. I just remember standing there staring at the road they disappeared. That was the last time I ever saw my mom. Later, I found out she'd been caught shoplifting from a local store. It wasn't the first time. She'd been arrested for stealing food to help us eat. Back then, she didn't have a steady job. My dad had left us when I was little. It was just the two of us against the world. Now, I wish I could tell you that after that, everything got better, that we found another way to move forward, but we didn't. Our house was foreclosed on, and I was forced to live with my aunt and uncle. It was horrible. I was just 16 years old and completely alone in the world. I hated Officer Carter. I blamed him for everything, even though deep down I knew my mom had made her own choices. For weeks, I replayed that moment over and over in my mind. Every time I looked out a window, I searched for his face in the crowd. Every car that passed seemed to hold him. I hated him. Then something strange happened. About 3 months after the arrest, Officer Carter showed up at my aunt and uncle's house. At first, I thought he was there to give me mom's stuff. But when I opened the door, he was standing there in uniform. I'll never forget that look on his face. He wasn't as intimidating as I remembered. He was actually kind of cute. He said he was doing a welfare check because I hadn't been going to school lately. I didn't know what to say. I expected him to be cold and distant, but instead he was nice. He asked if I was eating enough, if the house was safe, if I had someone to help me. No one had ever cared enough to ask me those things before. In that moment, the image I had of him faded away. The villain who took my mom away. He was just a man doing his job. Over the next few months, he kept checking in, sometimes bringing food or helping fix things around the house. Once he even brought groceries because he knew I couldn't afford much. Slowly, his visits became something I looked forward to. He wasn't just a cop anymore. He was someone I could talk to, someone who listened without judgment. And without even realizing it, my feelings began to change. I started noticing the way he smiled, the way he laughed, the way he always made sure I felt safe. I didn't want to admit it, but I was falling for him. One evening after dinner, he sat across from me at the kitchen table. He looked nervous. Then he told me he had feelings for me too, but he knew it was complicated. I was 17 now, almost an adult, and even though it felt wrong to the world, it felt right to me. I'd never felt this kind of love and safety before. When my mom finally came home after serving her sentence, she was shocked to see Carter still around. But instead of being angry, she smiled. She told me she trusted him, that she saw how he'd looked after me when she couldn't. For the first time in a long time, our house felt like a home again. People might judge us. They might never understand how I could fall in love with the cop who arrested my mom, but love doesn't always come the way you expect. Sometimes it shows up wearing a badge on the night your world falls apart.